Michelle,
Yes, Francie?
I have a question. Are you going to allow me to share my screen
Yes,
during the presentation? Great. Thank you.
absolutely.
Thank you.
Great, thank you. So I'm going to share screen.
We want water? Thank you so much. Water.
Definitely have a full house today, which is great. And I'm trying to get back to my. Okay. So you can see my screen now, right?
Yes.
Welcome to How Solopreneurs Can Win with Supplier Diversity Certification. And I am emphasizing that because I tend to say things backwards sometimes. And thankfully, we have the right people in the room to correct me, because Beatrice was like, Michelle, no, it's not diversity supplier, it's supplier diversity and certification. So we are excited that you are here, and we are going to jump right in. We have amazing speakers today. The way that today is going to work is that we are going to go ahead and have a presentation by Francy Rueda from Miami Bayside Foundation. And for many of you, you joined yesterday on the SCORE presentation that we did with regard to lending and banking relationships. And this is a really great add-on to the information about how to be attractive to lenders, in terms of now looking at how do I get corporate clients to help me increase my bottom line, right? So we also wanted to have this conversation and include the presentation from Francy. So she's going to chat with us a little bit, and then we're going to get right into the meat of the panel discussion with Beatrice and Laurinda, who I'll give a more robust introduction of shortly. So, big question, who is in the room? We know you're in the chat, drop a 1. Thank you. Sorry about that, y'all. So, sorry, I had to fix something. And so drop a 1 in the chat if you're a solopreneur, drop a 2 in the chat if you have team, and drop a 3 if you are a nonprofit. And in the room, how many solopreneurs do we have in the room? All right. And how many corporate folks do we have in the room? All right, great. Okay. So you can download, and there are worksheets here. One of the things that's super important to me is to ensure that you get value from this presentation and any other presentation that you attend. Like I said, many of you joined us yesterday, and you understand the importance of intentionality when you are getting this kind of information. And so this is a worksheet that you can download, that you can use to take notes, but most importantly, there is a promise to yourself to implement at least one thing that you learned today to have made your time worth it on this free event, because nothing is free. Okay, so folks in the room, there are paper copies here. And for those of you online, you can go straight to that worksheet and download that and fill it in, because we want to talk about your intention. As I mentioned at the top, my name is Michelle Talbert. I am the founder of Her Power Space, which is where we're sitting now. We opened in January 2020, and 3 years later, thankfully, we are still here. And amazingly, our very first client is sitting in the room with me right now. He walked in December 2019 and said, I'm ready to pay before the doors even open. My goal is to help ensure that solopreneurs and side hustlers have safe spaces for this entrepreneurial journey. right? So I help to create, curate, bring together experts that enable you to go from the confusion and isolation, you know, say an amen in the chat if you dealt with any of those feelings on your journey, so that you can get to clarity and community. And this day is part of that journey. So welcome to you all to her power space. And I have to shout out, today is National Co-working Day. So thank you guys for being here in my co-working space. Okay, so we are going to kick it off with Francy. Francy, please introduce yourself, and we are looking forward to your
Hi, everybody. Thank you, Michelle, for inviting us. We are doing an incredible job supporting all these small businesses. And my name is Francy. I am the Miami Bayside Foundation. I am the Senior Loan Program Manager at MBF. And what I want to share with you all today is our program. We support small businesses, and the reason why we want to let you know about our program is because once you are certified, or once you get all these incredible and important contracts with the government, with the prime contractors, the truth is that you will need money, and you need to show that you are prepared, and prepared not only technically, but at the same time that you have the financial capacity to deal with these contracts. And that's why entities as MBF, we want to support your business to show to the contractors that you are ready, because we are ready to support your businesses. So let me share my screen. Let me start the presentation. So we are a CDFI, very important, because most of the small businesses, they are only familiar with the banks, and we are a community development financial institution. What means that our purpose is to support the advanced economic development in South Florida. We have a presence in Miami-Dade, Broward, and Monroe, and we support small businesses owned by minority. And we do this through 3 programs: the loan program, technical assistance, and educational grants. Today, I will be focused on the loan program. So the criteria are that the business has to be owned by minority, what means people of color, Hispanics, Asians, and women. If you have a small business located in Miami-Dade, Broward, or Monroe, owned minimum in 51% by minorities, if you are a US citizen or a green card holder and you are looking for money to expansion, to create jobs, we have the money that you are looking for. The term of the loan. The loans start in 5,000 up to 150. The term is up to 5 years. The interest rate is 6%. If you are asking for 5,000 or for 150, always the interest rate is 6%. The use of the money. If you are looking for working capital, if you need to expand your business, to acquire equipment, inventory, to hire personnel, to develop your website, or you need liquidity for the accounts receivables, we can fund your company. The process is very simple. You should visit and apply in our website, Miami Bayside Foundation.org. You need to complete a very simple form with general information, contact information about you and your company. In the following 24 business hours, we will contact you. We really want to learn about your business, about your projects and your needs, and then we start working together. We will ask documents about you, your company, and your project, basic information. taxes, bank statements, permits, and more important, we will support your business if you need to create the business plan or the projections as well, because we are going to require that document. The purpose is to learn about your business, what makes your business unique, and of course, the needs of your business, working capital, expansion. We can fund your business. This is our contact information. My name is Francy Rueda. You can see our emails, our phone numbers. And the idea is to work with you to support your businesses. And of course, if you get these contracts, you are on small businesses, as I mentioned before, in Miami-Dade, Broward, or Monroe, please contact us. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Francy. We really appreciate that. And folks will be able to get all of the
sitting right there. Look,
speaker.
they on the blue soda. I be on the sofa too. I mean.
Michelle, you muted yourself, so if you're speaking, we can't hear you.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Okay. Yeah, so you should be able to hear us again now, Beatrice.
Yes, we can hear you, Michelle.
Perfect. Yeah, I had to mute everyone. So thank you for your patience with that. Appreciate it. Okay, so the way that today is going to run is that, as you can tell, we're hybrid, and I'm going to say this a couple more times, right? So that we appreciate all the folks who are joining us online and realize that you can't take full advantage of the robust networking that will also be happening in the room. So throughout our time together today, network in the chat. I'm a relationship marketing strategist, and I love to ensure that people make the right connections. And the only way to do that is to know who else is in the room. And we've spent the last 3 years looking at little boxes and not necessarily making connections. So use the chat, drop your LinkedIn, drop your Instagram, do in direct messaging with each other while you're also obtaining the information, because the people in the room are just as important as the people at the front of the room, okay? So please be sure to do that. So the way that the rest of our time together will work is that we're going to go ahead and bring Laurinda and Beatrice to the stage. And we're gonna have a panel discussion to really go into the meat of how solopreneurs and small business owners specifically can get corporate contracts. How many of you have counted yourself out because you thought you were too small? You can drop a 1 or a 2 in the chat, and anybody not go for contracts because you thought I can't get them? Which is why I was so excited to have the opportunity to meet Beatrice and Laurinda, because they quickly disabused me of that notion. So what I'm going to do is spotlight you. And so okay. Perfect. Okay, yay, this is exciting. All right, so Beatrice is the president and CEO of the Florida State Minority Supplier Development Council, and that is the last time that I will say it. We will refer to Beatrice as the president of the council, okay? And Laurinda is the, Laurinda's gonna tell us her title herself.
I will tell you. No worries.
And then Beatrice will share a little bit more about her background as well. Thank you for being here.
Absolutely, Michelle. Thank you so much for the invitation. And I'm really happy to be here today, especially seeing the partnership and the collaboration that ADP is working on specifically with you and your company. So As Michelle said, my name is Laurinda Thomas, and I am the Senior Director of Supplier Diversity and Sourcing at ADP. ADP is a global human capital management company. And a lot of people know us for our payroll services. I always like to tell everyone, if you've been working probably from the time you were a teenager up to now, ADP has been on at least one of your paychecks from one of the companies you've worked with. We currently do provide payroll services to 1 in 6 Americans. But on top of that, we do so many other things. Payroll is really a small percentage of our business. We also specialize in other things as it relates to HR that really include anything from HR services, benefits, again, payroll, HR outsourcing, talent, as well as time management. So we are over a 70-plus-year-old company globally with about 60,000 associates in 140 countries. And recently, we just celebrated our 1 millionth client worldwide. So we're doing great things over here and truly proud of our corporation and our team. As I mentioned, I do sit within our global procurement organization, managing our supply diversity program, which I've managed almost 6 years now. And I do have an extensive supply chain background. So I also do work with sourcing really in the non-IT space. And I use that to my advantage, really looking at opportunities for the different associates that work with me and looking at opportunities that come into ADP. I have team members that manage our sourcing and RFP process. So when those come in, if we don't have a diverse supplier included, we try to make sure we include one. And then we just look at other opportunities as well, especially when we're getting asked to add new suppliers into the landscape. So a lot of time is spent networking, having opportunities to meet specifically with different entrepreneurial small businesses, specifically diverse businesses, and truly finding opportunities for them to work with ADP and really get a percentage of that overall procurement spend. We are thriving to annually increase the spend with diverse suppliers, and we've done a great job. And I can share that we have 17% of our overall procurement spend is done with diverse businesses. So now we look to try to drill down and funnel and see where we can make enhancements within that, right? How do we increase our minority spend, our LGBTQ spend, our veteran spend, and work on initiatives and goals like that. So events like this really help with that process, ensuring that we find new businesses to bring back internally to our stakeholders and work with our team. So again, glad to be here and happy to be a part of the conversation today.
Thank you. And as you heard Laurinda say, look, it gets no smaller than this one woman show over here. Got ADP in the room with us, right? That matters. So Beatrice, please introduce yourself a bit, and then we're gonna go ahead and jump into the question.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Michelle, for the opportunity to be here today. I love your energy. We've been sisters ever since our first call. I just want to congratulate you. You started your company in the middle of COVID, and you're still here, and you're doing amazing things, having impact. Your commitment to this community and to entrepreneurs, and particularly small entrepreneurs and the solo entrepreneur, is really to be commended. I want to also thank Laurinda for being here. ADP is a national member of our organization, and thank you for being a champion for minority businesses. And we have a wonderful relationship with the Bayside Foundation. I used to serve on the board, and they've got money. And so what's so unique is you could have some credit blemishes and they'll still look at you. Mm-hmm. So even though you may not be, you're not bankable with a real bank, a bank, I should say, not a real, but a bank, because they are an alternative source of financing for minority and women-owned businesses, you want to take a look at them as a real possibility to get a loan and then grow to then go to a larger bank when the time is ready. So I just want to put in a plug for the Bayside Foundation. So a little bit about the council. We are an organization that's been in business over 47 years. We help Hispanic, Asian, African-American, and Native American-owned companies to grow. We're part of a national organization that's headquartered in New York, the National Minority Supplier Development Council. We love long names, okay? Just as long as you remember what it is that we do. And I want to thank two of my colleagues that have joined me today, Tanya Shaw. It's her second week, but she was an intern and now she's full-time with us. And we're so excited to have her. And she works with our TAP program in DOT. And Cassandra Noel, who is with us as well. She's going to be putting some information in the chat. So please take a look, grab it. And we're going to be sending some additional information after the session. So we consider ourselves Matchmaker Central. We connect minority businesses to opportunities. We help them grow by building their capacity through many of our programs that include our technical assistance program, where you have a business consultant working with you that makes an assessment of where you are, where you want to go, and then puts together a plan and help you get there by actually helping you create work products, by guiding you, providing you information, bid information, and so forth. We have a program we just launched this month. It's the FP&L Black Cultivator Program. It's a mentor protege program specifically for Black firms that are in STEM. You don't have to be certified with us to participate. And Cassandra's going to be dropping things in the chat. And we're the provider for the Miami Open for Business, the Miami Foundation. It's specifically for Miami-Dade County companies for grants as well as loans to buy assets, to buy space. And again, you don't have to remember any of this, but we've got several programs. We have our own loan program. We have an advanced management program at Kellogg, Dartmouth, and Washington State University. And we have activities that bring buyers and sellers together. And we're advocating for organizations like ADP, IBM, Office Depot, Burger King to do more business with minority companies, but also in the public sector as well, because government is the biggest buyer in the world. So you want to have a strategy for both public as well as the private sector so that you can expand your contracting opportunities. And I'll be sharing more about that, but I'm so pleased to be here. I wake up every day excited about what it is that I do because we want to create more millionaires. Entrepreneurship is the fastest way to build wealth. And I'm excited to be here, and congratulations on taking the time to invest and to be here as an entrepreneur.
Thank you all for being in the room. Thank you for that introduction, Beatrice. We are going to have Q&A both from in the space and online, and we're going to leave that toward the end. So as you're thinking through questions, be sure to keep them so that you ask them when we're finish with some of these questions. So Beatrice, this is a really great segue to our first question. And actually either of you can answer it, or probably both, to be honest, from the perspective of the council as well as perspective of a corporate entity. What are the different types of certifications? Many of us hear MBE and different types of certifications, and then we think, okay, we're supposed to do that at the government level. However, this is a corporate conversation, right? So can you help us to distinguish the ways that especially small business owners can capitalize on that and understand the distinctions?
This is where I like to call it the alphabet soup. Okay. And you don't have to remember any of this because we're going to put it in the chat. So Laurinda and ADP and companies like Disney, Walmart, IBM accept the National Minority Supplier Development Council certification. If you become certified with us and you're a company that's domiciled in the state of Florida, you go through our certification process. It's a national certification, right? That's accepted by thousands of corporations and some government agencies. Then, if you're interested in doing business as a woman-owned business, there's a WeBank, the Women's Business Enterprise National Council. And I see Laurinda shaking her head because ADP, of course, right?
Yes, absolutely.
You accept the certification. And then if you want to do business with government, depending on whether you want to do business with the state, that's the Office of Supplier Diversity, OSD, they have a certification. If you want business with Miami-Dade County, Broward County, Palm Beach County, some of it is race specific and some of it is just small business. So Miami-Dade County is race and gender neutral. It's the Office of Small Business. In Broward County, it's the Office of Small Business, but Broward schools and Miami-Dade schools, they actually certify if you're minority owned. So you have to at least be 51% minority owned, operated, and controlled, specifically for doing business with the school board, the county, and so forth. Then there's something called DBE certification. That's disadvantaged business enterprises, and that's specifically for transportation, airports, roadway, bridges. But USDOT and FDOT buys everything. And with the new legislation, the infrastructure bill that was passed, there are billions of opportunities. So go tell your kids, become an engineer, become a contractor, pour concrete, find something, because your children's children will be eating. That's how much money there is, because our infrastructure is failing. So there's a lot of money, and you're at a great advantage if you become a DBE, because there are goals that are established on multi-billion dollars worth of projects. And FDOT, which is the Florida Department of Transportation, has billions of projects, and the state has advanced about $8 billion worth of projects on top of what the feds already had. So you want to be DBE certified. And then there's something called ACDBE. So if you're in the food and beverage retail, that's the certification for you, because it's specific to airport concessionaires. Again, all of this information is in the chat. You can be veteran certified. If you're 51% veteran owned, veteran disabled, you could be hub zone certified. And I don't think we have that information, but it's specific communities and neighborhoods that are disenfranchised. Most of the people that where you have the company, they are from that community, and there's so many benefits to that certification. There's so many types of certification. Don't be overwhelmed. The first thing I want you to do is not to look at the certification, but the opportunity, and then decide what makes best sense for you. But we'll be getting into that.
Yeah. And Beatrice, Beatrice, I'll just add to that, right? So really, if you look at the ADP Supplier Diversity Program and other corporations out there, our primary goal is to proactively identify, build relationships, and purchase goods and services from diverse business entities. So we accept many of the certifications, pretty much all of them that Beatrice mentioned, along with some others. And I'll also be sharing some information via the chat, and that I'll also send to Michelle directly about specifically which certifications we accept, working with organizations like the Florida Council, as well as government entities and others that we have partnerships with. There's so many that we can't have partnerships with all of them, but we do accept their certifications. And what it really aligns with, and when I think about how we partner with the national FMSDC or some of the regional councils, is the amount of work and effort that it goes into mentoring you, developing you, getting you ready to work with corporations. So it's imperative that you have that certification, that you've been vetted and it's verified that you 51% owned and operated. But it's those partnerships that go along with that allow us as corporations to also work, be able to fund, do the scholarships, the mentoring that goes along with getting you ready to work with ADP, as well as many other corporations out there when you think about it from that perspective.
Thank you so much. So with all of that information, how do we work backwards from the opportunity then to determine what's the right certification for us? Where do we start to understand where to then go next so that we can position ourselves?
As an entrepreneur, you know who your best customers are, but then you've got to go find them, right? So what's good if you're doing business in the public sector is everything is in the open. What they're buying, who has the contract. Hell, you could ask for a copy of the proposal. It may take a while. You may have to pay for the copies and so forth, but there's a lot of information that you could ask. What are they most likely to buy? You can get that information in the public sector. So because of the Freedom of Information Act, you can get a lot of information. Every agency has a department that buys. So the procurement department is the one, or a corporation supply chain is the one that buys, but another department might do the minority and small business certification. You want to be sure that you're registered with the department that buys, so they even know who you are. And if there is an opportunity and you fit the criteria, that they at least look to you, send you the information and so forth. And then if you are a veteran woman, small, what have you, all of the other types of certifications, either the private or the public sector, then you want to take a look to be certain, okay, do I need this? Maybe I should wait. Let me see if there's an opportunity, but you want to first see, what are they buying? Is there an opportunity for what it is that I'm selling? Do I have a unique process? Is there something that there's a pain point that I might be able to meet? So if I want to do business with ADP, I'm going to do my research about that. What, are they downsizing? Are they growing? Do they have something that they're just launched that makes sense? Because you might learn, what, this company is not going to bankrupt and they're not really looking for companies at this time. So why waste your time? So it really takes doing a lot of research. So do your homework on who that customer is, and then you just do a top 100 list.
Yep.
Who's hot and who's not, right? And be very, what's the word I'm looking for? Intentional and relentless in terms of, how do I fit in? Each person may have a different process or a way that you're going to try to get in, but that's a little bit about how you approach the customer. But I know all of you already know this, so I might be just sharing some things that you already know, but look for the opportunity, really understand the customer's need before you say, oh, I'm certified, where's my opportunity?
Right.
You have to say, I have a solution. I understand that ADP is global and you're looking at apps right now, and I've got a solution for you. So that's how you want to approach it. I can add value. You don't lead with, I'm small, I'm woman, I'm minority. Guess what? We don't care. We want you to save us money, have the best price, have the best solution, and add value. And then Laurinda will say, we've got an opportunity for you.
Yep, absolutely. And as Beatrice said, do that homework and that research, right? If you go to adp.com and type in supplier diversity, it's going to pull up all the information about our program, what certifications we accept. But more importantly, there's a list of what we buy and all the different commodities. So you don't want to waste your time. If you sell a product or service that we don't buy, maybe you don't want to reach out. But if you do, you look at that list and you say, oh, I do marketing, or I have expertise in travel and entertainment. That's an opportunity. There's a link where you can register on our portal. There's an email address where you can reach out to us directly and provide your capability statement and some additional information. And from there, we can start that relationship. When you think about supplier diversity and why I advocate for it so much, it's really about what it does for our company. ADP is a heavy IT shop based off of the solutions we sell, right? We are a SaaS-based solution. So the majority of our spend, diverse and non-diverse, is really going to be in the IT space. But what does finding diverse suppliers do, right? It promotes that innovation. It provides or introduces multiple sources. It drives competition, right? That competition between who we currently use and potentially who we may use in the future. And if we all look the same sitting around the table, where are we going to get, right? We always go back to that point. You have to have different mindsets, different thought processes to really get anywhere and grow. So as I advocate, thinking about the fact that, we don't publicize where we may have opportunities, those requests are coming in through our procurement department. But then that's where it's up to me and all the other members of procurement and any supplier diversity champions to really support the effort to ensure that if we've met a supplier that is diverse, that can do the job, that we give them a chance. Even with introducing them to the RFP process, we love to give feedback. If you don't win that RFP, I want to come back to you and tell you why you didn't win it. Maybe your pricing was too high. Maybe it was too low. Maybe it was how you responded to the RFP. But we want to provide that guidance and assistance so that next time you'll be ready to win that RFP with ADP and any other corporation. So you just have to think about it from that mindset. And that's why the research is so important, that when you are ready, that you know what we're buying or what your potential client and customer is buying and where you can find those opportunities. And then also is really getting in touch with the folks who can help support you, like supplier diversity, like procurement. It's those reach outs, it's those networking opportunities that you can get introduced, build those relationships and start working with those companies. Now, like many corporations, you may get your certification, but it may take a year or longer to get that opportunity. And that depends on budgets with the corporation. It depends on what's currently going on. It also depends on just, is there an opportunity now? And that's why you continue to grow and scale your company as you work on those relationships, because there's been chances, or there's been times where it's taken me 2 to 3 years to find an opportunity for a supplier. And it just depends on what the needs are for the company at that time. If we just signed a 3-year deal with a supplier, which is something we do a lot, there may not be another opportunity for another 3 years. So just think about that, be patient, but also know if you continue to reach out and try to also, stay in touch with those advocates, it will eventually lead to an opportunity. And another great thing is, the supplier diversity world is very close knit. I may not have an opportunity for you, but I know all the supplier diversity folks and all the other corporations, and we talk constantly in emails and chats, and we ask each other if there's someone that they have that may do something, and I can provide that information. So we advocate for each other, we give references, and we definitely ensure that we support each other as well.
Yeah, I wanted to add to Laurinda, those were great tips. As a solo entrepreneur, government buys sometimes only by getting 3 quotes. So there are those small opportunities, catering, painting, it might be, if you're a plumber, to do, some under 100,000, under 50, under 75, only 3 quotes. So who's buying what? The school board, the hospital, the county, the city, the airport, the seaport. And if you get 4 of those $100,000 opportunities, that's almost $500,000. So you want to do your homework, and you want to register with the departments that buy, because when those small opportunities, and they're only looking at a few bids, and that's how you build capacity. And then when you go to an ADP, you say, I've done business with Miami-Dade County or Broward Schools or North, and say, this is what I've been able to do. So you're building a track record of larger opportunities or the size of opportunities that helps you to do business with some of these corporations. So don't sleep on these smaller opportunities, solo entrepreneurs. Did I say that correctly? Solo entrepreneurs? Yes.
You got it. You're good. So I want to punctuate a couple of things from the conversation, just so we can make sure that you hear them, especially because I love relationships and how important they are. Get in the right rooms, right? As you heard Laurinda say, they talk to one another, right? And so you want to ensure that you're connecting and staying top of mind. You're reaching out, you're adding value when you reach out, you're sharing information that could be helpful from the research that you've done about that company. You're showing up to events so that you can connect with people, stop by their table, etc. And then one of the things that I know that the council and like NABO, Jessica's in leadership at NABO, WeBank, they have receptions and things like that you don't have to be a member to get a ticket and kind of be in the room and begin to make those connections. So even pre-certification, you can begin to plant the seeds of making connections so that you do stay top of mind and find out what they're buying, because that's the key. We want to get paid. So we're going to ask one more question, and then we want to open it up to Q&A, because I really want to make sure that we're touching on the topics that are important to the people who are in the rooms. Okay, thank you. So can you share what are mistakes you see small businesses make? Let's go to that so that we can avoid those pitfalls. What kind of mistakes do you see? And we can start with you, Laurinda. I see that in your head.
Yeah, absolutely. So Michelle, when I think about, I just specifically talked about RFPs and sometimes undervaluing your business and potentially winning and not being able to do the work. I always ask that the diverse entities that we start relationships and work with are truly brutally honest, right? Just tell me what you can and you cannot do. Because if I put you or get you an opportunity and you've said you can do 10 things, but you can only execute on 5 of those, guess what? That is my reputation as well. So the next time I go to that particular business unit or stakeholder, they're gonna be like, I don't want to hear from you. I don't want to talk to or even think about any businesses that you bring to me. And there's already this misconception or myth when it comes to diverse suppliers, right? Whether it be we have to lower our standards, or that the small businesses can't handle the volume, or they cost more money. So again, it's about me trying to advocate day to day on why those myths are really not accurate. So I would say, think about that. If you also feel you may not be ready to work with a corporation, think about your B2B business. Let's say you're a marketing company or a print company, and you're in a community. You have other businesses around you that need your expertise. Try to work and scale up. And then when you really truly come to work with an ADP, you're going to be successful because you've done the business, you have more revenue, you have more references, and you've been able to scale. So don't underestimate and always go for the top at first. Like I said, you have to scale. You have to work with organizations like the Florida Council because they will help get you there. And outside of all the great programming that they put in place virtually as well as in person, that's where you really truly get to see those opportunities to get in rooms with those other corporations. Think about being in Florida as you're driving down the highway. What major corporations do you see that you could potentially, like I said, reach out to, do research? I see there's a DJ on the call, right? A lot of times I think certain types of small businesses, especially solopreneurs, may think that there's not an opportunity to work with ADP. Listen, we have parties just like you go out and DJ parties anywhere else. It's finding out where those opportunities could be within those locations and how that can help you. So we buy gift baskets, we'll buy floral arrangements, and yes, we also buy staffing and temp and IT services and software. But don't underestimate your value and don't lose out on potential additional revenue because you think you don't really provide something that a corporation could use or need. So, just be honest, scale at your own pace, and just really work with the advocates within organizations like the council and the corporations that you're trying to pitch to really help get you to the next level.
Well, I have some recommendations. Have an effective capability statement, have it well done, professionally done, no typos, so forth. That's important because it's not enough to have a business card, but back and front. This is what I do. This is how I solve a problem. These are some of our customers. This is how long we've been in business. Selling what it is that you do, right? Doing business in both the public and private sector. Looking at joint ventures. I don't know why we have to go at it solo. If Laurinda and I get together, I do the marketing and she does the printing, we can then bid for larger opportunities. It's okay to do a joint venture just for a specific opportunity. That doesn't mean that you're going to give up your own company, but it's an opportunity to come together to strengthen and to give you more of a chance of winning so that you are bigger. Having an effective website. Some people don't take the time to really have an effective website. And I'm sorry to say this, you're in business, you should not be Gmail, AOL, or Yahoo. It should be Beatrice at BeatriceLouissaint.com.
Yes.
Because Laurinda's going to look at you and say, what? Michelle's not sophisticated. She didn't even invest to own her own domain. And then a big mistake, working in the business rather than on the business. And I'm happy to say, just because you're here says you're working on the business, you're learning, you're open, you're taking direction, finding a mentor, identifying, opportunities. So, again, the idea of how much of my time during the week am I going to spend on learning and growing to sharpen myself. So iron sharpens iron. And also you got to sharpen your pricing. What can you do as you look at your bids, your proposals, to take out the fluff, but you got to make money, because if it doesn't make money, it doesn't make what? Sense, right?
Yes.
But to make certain that you're competitive when you bid for ADP's work or whoever it is, or if it's B2B, another small entrepreneur, how do you cut the cost? And don't be afraid of technology, people. I am. actually we're doing a 2-week workshop on AI for the entire team. Artificial intelligence is here. So it can help you do things faster, shorter, and so forth. We're having a workshop. Cassandra's going to put it back in the chat on, AI and what you can do as a small solo entrepreneur with AI to be more efficient and to cut costs out of what it is that you're doing to be more effective and be more competitive, because you have to be competitive. It's not being about small or minority. It's about adding value and having the best price, the best service, and adding value.
Thank you. I'm going to ask one last yes or no question, and then we're going to take questions from the room here to start. So if you have questions, and then we'll go into the chat as well. Is length of time in business a factor in your decision making, or is it strictly about proven results and getting things done, or is there an mixture?
For me, it's more results and getting things done. We've changed.
That's why
right. And I've had to change the mindset on that a little bit internally, but it's really about finding the right qualified supplier who can do the job.
Right. And you can look bigger than you are, even though you're small. So if you worked for IBM for 20 years, when you write your capability statement, you say 30 years of experience. Absolutely. The 10 that you had your company, or the 1 plus the 20 is 21, whatever it is, of experience. So there are ways, or if you got 3 people that work for you and they've been working 30 years, that's 90 years of experience. So it's how you couch what you say and how you say it to appear larger. And that all of the things about the website, the capability statement, the having, your domain name, those things can mask you being small and saying, okay, yes, I may not be small, I may be small, but I'm going to give you a discount, or I'm going to give you, I'm going to try me out for a day or for a year or on a project. Let me show you what I can do. Okay, I love to read. So there's a book called Free, the New Pricing. Yeah, so, supposedly, Google's free, Facebook is free. Yeah, they're all making billions. Okay, but so there are things that you can do to really stand out and differentiate yourself. But each one of you has to decide what is it that you can do, because you may not be able to say, let me do something for free, let me volunteer, right, or what have you, let me give you a percentage off. But guess what? When I put the proposal together and I say 20% off because you're a first-time customer, you don't know that the original price was $8,000, not 10. Right. So there are things that you can do to still be small, still win, and still really shine and show the customer that you have the capacity to do what it is that they're asking.
Thank you so much for this. Hopefully this has been a helpful discussion. So what we're going to do we have any questions in the room? Because I'm going to set some of the ground rules here for our questions. Any questions? Oh, yeah.
I saw a question about someone who's in Texas. If they're in Texas, just Google Texas Department of Transportation, Houston, Dallas, minority business, small business, and so forth. So wherever you are, you're going to find those if you Google those on the web. Yep. And I have counterparts around. There are 23 of us. So I will put in nmsdc.org so you can find our counterparts around the country.
Awesome. And so we have Jessica here who's actually watching the chat for us in the room or online. This is a Her Power Space event. So that means when you ask a question, you say your name and the name of your business, so we know who's in the room. Do we have any questions in the room? We have a question over here. Please share your name and your business and your question.
Do I have to really project for everybody?
You got to ask them if they can hear you.
Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Hi, I'm Shakira Lawson. I am a licensed clinical social worker, and I am the primary therapist and owner of Timeless Therapeutic Services. My question is for Beatrice. I believe you said you have a program for getting owners certified. Could you explain that a little bit more, or do you have to be a member to do that?
So certification is for a company that's Hispanic, Asian, African American, Native American owned, operated, and managed. at least 51% minority owned and operated. What I would recommend for you as a social worker, there is a shortage of social workers and therapists. So go see who's hiring. BetterHelp, because they're hiring folks from around the country, because a lot of the clinical work is being done virtually. So see if you can get engaged with them. Additionally, I would join associations specifically for your industry, so you can see what they're doing, how they're getting business. But you can explore our certification. But I want to be sure that there's an opportunity before you decide, because our certification is not free. There is a fee. If you're under $1 million, it's $3, and it goes up to $800 if you're 50 million and larger. But I'm not here to sell anything. So I want to be sure that this is right for you. So again, do your homework. But yes, and okay, I hope that answered your question, but Cassandra's going to put our information about certification in the chat so that you can learn more about the process. It's very exhaustive and intrusive. So tax returns, resumes, business tax receipt, articles of incorporation, bank signature, because we're trying to make certain that you truly own and operate that company for the certification, because companies like ADP have outsourced the certification because they don't do it, and they want to be certain when they say they're doing business with Michelle, she's truly minority owned and operated.
Yeah, absolutely. And Shakira, I'll just add to that, and this is something ADP has been doing, or supplier diversity, in collaboration with our DE&I organization and our business resource groups. And our business resource groups are really for associates. If you think about, if you're a Black associate, we have a business resource group called Cultivate, where you can join, and it really aligns with ensuring that Black associates have opportunities for leadership, mentoring, things like financial, like maybe you're ready to buy a house. There's a lot of programming that's involved that also aligns with ensuring that our Black associates get to the next level. We do the same thing for Hispanics, LGBTQ, and veterans. So what we've been doing in that partnership is having sessions or workshops, and we've been doing it probably about every other month. And it's really like an hour-long workshop where we talk about doing business with ADP. We talk about the certification program. So I may bring in someone from one of the regional FMSDC councils or someone from WeBank, and we have conversations. I also like to include a success story. So I'll have one of my diverse suppliers come in as well. So we've done 2 so far for minority-owned businesses and partnering with the New York, New Jersey MSDC. We did one, I think, in May with the NVBTC, which is the National Veteran Business Development Council. And at the end of that, we're giving out sponsorships for certification for the first year. So there's an opportunity for all of those that attend to get that. We just ask for a little bit of information back about your company, where you're located, and how long you've been in business. So we are working on getting that information uploaded to the ADP supplierdiversity.com page. And like I said, I'll make sure I send that to Michelle. But the next one we have will be at the end of the month, and it's specifically for LGBTQ businesses. Then we're going to have one for disabled-owned businesses, and then women-owned businesses coming up. So not only is it great information, and you know, the great thing about it is those organizations talk about the process, because it can be time-consuming. You are getting asked a lot of paperwork and questions, and I think sometimes that may hinder businesses because they either don't have the time or don't understand how to do it. So we're trying to help support those efforts. So I'll make sure everyone's on the call gets that information. At least they can go back and check and see if we're doing a session that you specifically qualify for, and that you can also attend those calls and potentially get a free sponsorship for your first year of certification.
So Michelle, I saw in the chat someone is in the transportation business. I would recommend that you visit your Visitors and Convention Bureau, because they'll have a list of all of the conventions that are coming. Join organizations that are specific to event planning and event planners. For the person that's in transportation, that's a really great way to identify where there are opportunities specifically for people that need to be transported to and from. So if Broward County Convention and Visitors Bureau, Miami Convention and Visitors Bureau, in Miami, they even have a team that's focused on helping minority businesses to do business in the visitors industry. I forget what it's called, but it's on their website, Greater Miami Convention and Visitors Bureau. And that is a way to really find out what conventions are coming, and to see who the planner is, who's the lead person, and so forth, so that you can target. You want to be laser focused on the customer.
Thank you. I think you said there's a question.
Yeah. Ask Dion's question. Kim Elliott also posed a question. You want to float up and allow her to introduce yourself?
Kim Elliott, do you want to come on screen? You can raise your hand so we can see you and then bring you on if you want to ask a question. Otherwise, Jessica will ask it for you. Kim Elliott, would you like to come on screen? You have to raise your hand so we see you.
I don't want to come on screen at this time, but I did have a question.
Totally fine. Go ahead.
Okay. My question is, I live in Pennsylvania. I have an office in Maryland, and I may want to do business in Florida. Which supplier development program would be best?
What business are you in?
Before we get that answer, Kim, can you please tell us the name of your business?
Yes, I am Kim Elliott. We are Diet and Business Technologies. We are a point of sale manufacturer and software developer. And we also manufacture other hardware items such as cameras and rugged tablets. So we can do business nationwide with our technology solutions. And I wanted to know which development program would be best. Does it go by where you live, where your office is, or where you want to do business?
Yeah, it goes by where you're domiciled. So I have a counterpart that covers Pennsylvania. And if MSDC.org, you can go to affiliates and find where they are. So you would be certified with them. And then if you wanted to attend our events, be on our mailing list and so forth, you can do a subscription service, and you could get our information as well. I would recommend the hotel and restaurant associations from all of the states that you're doing business in. I would connect with them because you want to be talking to restaurant owners that could use your point of sales. As it relates to your camera, almost all schools, particularly in Florida, they're retrofitting and they're focused on safety, and maybe many of the schools around the country, cameras, access, and so forth. So you want to look at your school boards and for opportunities in that area. As it relates to technology, I want to say that, a lot of MBEs are in that space. So you want to identify what really differentiates yourself before you start talking to the folks in the private sector. But it sounds like you've got a company and you're doing business in multiple states, but those would be my recommendations. What do you think, Laurinda?
Yeah, I agree. And, I look at it from, how corporations work with the different councils that are part of the MSDC. We have a close relationship with New York, New Jersey, based off of that's where we're headquartered. But I've also attended, Beatrice Business Opportunity Exchange. This is pre-pandemic, so I'm overdue to get back to that, Beatrice. But it's really about, again, where you want to also look for business opportunities. I think about it from the perspective of, yes, ADP is headquartered out of New Jersey. So a lot of our decision makers are in that New York, New Jersey, Northeast area, but we also have very large offices in Florida, naming Maitland, Orlando, Miami, Jacksonville, Tampa, and a few others. So we also want to ensure that when there's opportunities to do business locally within that state, that we have a relationship as well with the council there, so they can also help us when it comes to networking and finding opportunities. And on the flip side of that, also those businesses being able to reach out to us. So I think you have to look where you're centrally located and then look to see where you also want to expand and maybe kind of build our relationships. And also look at what the national level NMSDC can do for you as well.
Thank you so much. Very helpful.
Thanks, Kim. Frank, did you have a question?
Yeah. My name is Frank. I'm with Building Envelope Management. We're a roofing and waterproofing consulting company based out of South Florida. The question I have, in my line of work, it's designed to be proactive for the client to take care of their roofing issues prior to them becoming actual issues. But what I'm coming across is that the end user, which is the facility manager, they're typically not aware of the minority supplier development certification or MBE certification. And I'm curious, how would I be able to educate the end user on the benefits of working with a minority-owned business?
So don't do that. Educate them on what you do and how you're going to save them money. And as hurricane season starts and what have you, don't worry about the certification. That's just an added value if it comes up or as part of the application or your proposal. I'm a minority, I have this certification, here's my certification. You always lead with, I'm just a great business owner that can provide you a great service. So, you know, that facilities manager say, hey, can I do a free inspection? And then give you a quote, you know, but these are my capabilities. You always lead with what you can do and how you can help the customer. And then, by the way, I'm also a minority if you need to count the spend or what have you.
Right.
That's not what you lead with. Okay. I hope you understand that.
Yeah,
I'm
and
not
I agree.
leading.
Yeah, I was just gonna say with all the programming that has popped up to really help with supplier diversity initiatives, that's not always the lead, right? You are the business owner, you go in, that certification is a piece of paper. So for some companies and corporations you work with is important, for others it may not be. So you stand on the value of your company. And like Beatrice said, if you actually are certified and they accept that, that's an added bonus, because now that is, you know, spend that they can count towards their initiatives and their growth. But I didn't mean to cut you off, so please continue with what you were going to say.
You want me to?
No, I just,
Yeah.
okay, I'm not saying that's what I lead with. I don't lead with that. However, as you pointed out, it is the differentiator. So if it comes down to where they're curious as to what does this MBE symbol means on my capability statement, I would like to eloquently explain to them what that means.
Right. So you could tell
What's
them, you could say, you know what, I'm also certified with the state, the county, the FMSDC. If you're counting the spend, I don't know if that's important to you. You could share some links about certification and minority businesses and why some corporations are focused on that area. So those are some of the things that you could share, because sometimes it's the end user that needs it. So I just got a call from an insurance company. They're trying to get a contract with the county, Miami-Dade County, and they're like, I need a Black marketing firm because I cannot present my proposal unless I've got a Black diverse firm on the team that is a Black firm. And they won that contract as a result, right? But it was important to them that that certification happened. And sometimes the corporation or the agency doesn't even realize that it's important. So you might want to add that as part of your introduction and so forth. You know, besides who your customers are, how many years of business, your license, your bonding capacity, and so forth, and that you're also minority. But sometimes, yes, the small entrepreneur is having to educate, and for some people it may be important, and sometimes it may not be. But that's a great question. Thank you.
Before I pose the two questions, something else that I do, put my picture on stuff. So
You gotta speak up so they can hear you.
Oh. So something else that I do when I put anything on any kind of picture, whatever, even in my email signature, you're gonna know all of my credentials on the bottom. So I'm the NABO DEIB chair for South Florida. So you look at my email, every pitch that I've won, on my actual email signature, you're going to know who you're dealing with. But when I send things out, my capability statement on the bottom, I sign with my name and my face. So if it was unclear to them, my last name is Jefferson, not Black, because they don't know that I'm Haitian anymore, and I can class up as any nationality, then you see me, there's no doubting that I'm Black. So if they're looking for, and they may not be able to always say Black women only, because you know, all of the things, but if you see me, you can't deny that that's a thing. So you have to be very creative in how you're presenting, especially when you know who your market is. So if you're going after ADP and ADP is telling you, we're looking for, you know, people of color to provide our business, they know what MBE stands for, but maybe the city of Davie doesn't know what that stands for, but they know within what they have to do in order to meet their federal things for all of the things that have to do with inclusivity and all of those pieces and parts that we're looking to fill, so that DEI that's not ringing, your face differentiates you from every person that's going to be applying something, particularly in Davie. So I think we think about how to creatively use and strategize or putting things forward, even though the letters behind your name or what you do, how do you present to them who you are in a manner that's efficacious? And to the questions online.
Thank you. So we're gonna ask one of the two. We're gonna ask one last question.
Okay, so I'll ask the first one that came in just to be fair. Let's go up to Charles Harris is expert at eXp Realty. He's a sales agent, and his question is, he is starting a small business in KMCO or KCMO. My intention is to try and incorporate with a company like Quick Trip. What supplier development program will be maybe will be helpful to him?
You said he's in real estate? Is that
It
what
says
that is?
eXp Realty,
Yeah.
a sales agent. He's in real
Yeah,
estate.
I don't, honestly, I would not do certification yet. Yeah, I would look to B2B and B2C, directly to the customer. I mean, I recently got a hospital that asked me, they needed, I mean, the firm that they needed someone to develop the plan, sell the spaces, they're building an entire city, and they were looking for someone very large. So I would start the company, start to have some wins, customers, build the clientele, because the certification is so challenging to get through and intrusive. I wouldn't recommend that you look at certification first. Start the company, start to crawl, start to grow, identify where your customers are coming from, who they are, and then decide, does certification make sense for you? I wouldn't recommend it at this time.
So one final question to wrap up, and then we're going to have an announcement by ADP as well. To be clear, if you are accessing a supplier diversity program with an entity, is certification always required, or do some organizations have their own, access portals for people who are not certified to be able to do business with those corporations? Because I think that also was the Frank's question, is like, well, why use me if they don't have any reason?
Right. Yeah, and that's a good question. So we, ADP, require certification. There are other corporations who will allow for self-certification. There are others that do not care, right? Then it becomes a question of how you count and don't count the spend, but that's between us, corporations and organizations. So what we do look at, as I look at our data and we analyze it, is we look at certified versus classified, because I can find out if a company may be Black owned or women owned. Now, depending on the amount of business we're doing with them, I may reach out and ask that they look into certification so I can count that spend in my program. I will never turn away a supplier because they're not certified, right? If you are a woman-owned business or a Black-owned business and you can come in and do the job, yes, I want you to do it for ADP. So I think you really have to work and look at the type of business you're trying to gain, what types of companies you're trying to work with, and also what are their criteria as far as recognizing you as a diverse business entity. And I want to, Beatrice, if you have anything to add to that.
Right. So identify the opportunity, then determine if you want this, need the certification. But bid on the open market. Those 3 quotes that the city, the county, the school board is getting, they don't care whether you're a minority or not many times. It's just best price. Who picked up the phone? And you might have been the only one out of the 3. They weren't even able to get the quote, and you get that opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
So again, don't chase certification, chase the contract, the opportunity. Who is the customer? What do they buy? Am I selling what they buy? Can I add value? And then from there, you can determine which certifications that you need. So you say, hey, I want to do business at airports.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in the retail, I'm in food and beverage. I want ACDBE. I want to do business in hospitals. Okay, it might be that it's the county hospital and Jackson has a small business program. So you want to be certified because they have their own process, and it's gender and race neutral. So it doesn't matter if you're a woman or you're a minority. My phone is ringing. Sorry about that. But yes, or buzzing, I should say. So again, you want to identify what the customer requirements are before you determine whether you should do the certification. That is, I can't stress that enough. And if you decide you want to do 1, 2, or 3 do them all at the same time, get the applications, because they're going to ask a lot of the same things so that you can get all three done at the same time, if it makes sense. But all of you can bid on anything that you want to bid on. If there's an opportunity, you think you can do it, bid. And unfortunately, what happens is people get certified and they forget to bid. They forget to put in proposals. Create one great proposal. And then it's just about customizing it to fit the next customer that you're going to go after. But everyone needs one great proposal, maybe one for the public sector, one for the private sector. But if you make that investment, then it's a lot easier the next time a bid comes up, because they want you to answer in 30 days, 10 days, 2 days, 5 days sometimes. So you want to be certain you're ready, because opportunity meets, what is it? Preparation. Preparation meets opportunity and vice versa. So you want to be ready.
Thank you, thank you. And so as we wrap up, Laurinda and Beatrice, I know that you had folks who were sharing links and things like that. We will be downloading the chat and sharing the chat with everyone. So if you felt like you were in the room and got left out, we want to make sure that you get that information with folks sharing their information. Laurinda or Beatrice, do you want to say any final words or drop any information about your contact, which will be emailed out to everyone as well?
Yes, thanks, Michelle. I'll just say, if anyone wants any more detailed information about ADP, our program, just any tips, I always like to say education is just as important. Sometimes getting that education and the foundation helps you get to the next level and win that business. But please feel free to reach out to me. I dropped my personal email in the chat and some other information. And then I'm going to send Michelle a more detailed deck about our program and the different types of certifications we accept. But again, really appreciate your time and really wanting to learn more about certification, working with ADP, learning more about the Florida Council, because we're really here to help support you. We want you to get to the next level. And, this is hard work on all sides. We just want to ensure the success and make sure that there are more opportunities specifically for minority-owned business entities, women-owned businesses, and you get your fair chance and your seat at the table. So again, kudos to you for starting this and wanting to find out more. And please feel free to just reach out to me at any time.
Thank you. And we're not done yet, y'all. We have another video that we're going to show for a couple of minutes, so don't sign off yet. People in the room are like, "You're not letting us get up." Beatrice, if you want to share, and then we're going to have Paul come up.
Yeah, well, thank you for the opportunity. Congratulations on investing in yourself. I say entrepreneurship is the definition of crazy, because you're the risk taker. You could go get a job, but you're saying, I want to create jobs. I want to create wealth. I want to create generational wealth. And like Laurinda said, it is not easy. But it could also be the definition of the smartest people in the world, because 76% of self-made millionaires in the United States are business owners.
Yep.
So here's more of you becoming millionaires and my best friends, right? Okay, but our information is in the chat, and I'll put my email address in the chat. But congratulations, I'm excited for your entrepreneurial journey, and hopefully there's something we can do to help you. Our programs and services are on our website. Sometimes I can be very hard to reach, but members of our team, depending on the program, what you need. But if you have a problem and it can't be resolved, then I would be the next person to connect, or the last person to connect to.
Thank you, Laurinda. So we're going to have this quick message from Nathaniel, who is in Europe right now from ADP, and his colleague Paul is in the room. We have a really exciting announcement. So hopefully the sound was working. Wait, let it play a minute, because I think he just does that.
No sound, hold on.
Hold on. Do a digital output. It keeps taking it off of digital output.
Where do you see that?
Paul can attest that we tested this.
She was prepared.
I was.
No, he's way more handsome than me.
Select the speaker. Yeah. So I'll be here. Right? Okay, let's try this one more again. I wonder if the his video go. All right, so we're gonna let Paul introduce what the announcement is.
I should have watched the video beforehand.
I know, right? So Paul. Can I say, yeah, make some apologies, everyone.
No, we're good. I'm on the spot. I wasn't teed up for this. I just want to let everybody know that. So my name is Francy Rueda. I'm with ADP. Nate is one of our representatives. He's been with ADP for a few years. He's amazing at what he does. He's one of the best reps in South Florida, and that's why he's in Europe right now, because ADP wanted to treat him. But at the end of the day, a little bit about me. I was a small business owner also for 7 years. I owned a humble little pool business. And I didn't really know how to run the business. I knew how to go clean the pools and service and stuff along those lines, but I didn't know of all the back end compliance that came with that. So at the end of the day, I stunted my own growth. I wasn't getting the commercial work I could have gotten because I didn't get workers' comp. And I wound up finding out I was having a child. Oh, sorry.
So they can, there you go.
I found out I was having a child. I got a little worried, so I sold my business and I needed to get a corporate job, and that's where I stepped into ADP. And now for a living, what we do is help these businesses with the back end compliance. So now all day long, and we're speaking with business owners like yourselves that are focused on the revenue generating aspects, and we focus on all the compliance for you guys, whether it's employees hiring to firing, or it is making sure you have the right HR support. A lot of the small businesses can't afford an HR representative for $1,000 a week. So ADP services include HR representatives, employee handbooks, stuff along those lines. So if you're looking for just a business evaluation, you can call Nate directly or myself, and we'll just look through your business and tell you guys where you may be lacking or missing holes. At the end of the day, employees are your greatest assets, but also your greatest liabilities. So how do you protect yourself from them? And that's how we help you do that. There's my spiel.
Thank you. So the announcement is that we have partnered with ADP.
There we go.
I have no idea what's up with this video, but that's what Nate was announcing. And so we're super excited to be partnering. I'll just come over here.
Yeah.
Excuse my back.
Okay.
And y'all can't see anyway, so that doesn't help. So I love hybrid events so much. But I just want to say thank you to everybody who's in the room, everyone who is online. You will receive a copy of today's chat as well as the video from today. And we look forward to the extent that you have needs with ADP and you begin to think about scaling and hiring, that you will come to her power space and allow us to help facilitate that relationship with you. One of the things that my goal is to help solopreneurs and side hustlers get access to, like Beatrice said, the money, right? To live your dreams out for money, all right? And so thank you all for being here, for continuing to do that. Tomorrow, we have another event that you'll get email about, and come back again. We look forward to you all connecting and keeping those connections going. We're going to connect here in the room, and we have empanadas and things like that. So thank you again to Francy, Beatrice, and Laurinda, and Paul here in the room. And we'll see you on the next event. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you. Enjoy the empanadas. I hate I'm missing that.
Thank you, everybody.
Everybody. So for the folks in the room, please eat, connect, get to know each other. I don't know, I mean, it's a small enough group. If everyone wants to just quickly introduce yourself and your business, y'all know I love to make sure you know who's in the room so you make the connection before they leave the room and your opportunity walked out the door. Chris, you look like you're about to jump out of your skin. Go, go.
Chris Lycum with SBK.
And what do you do for SBK?
I do a little bit of everything but practice law. I do operations, I do sales, I do marketing, I do HR. And so basically just a little bit of everything, and technology as well. So all hands for the staff and help in any way possible.
And SBK they do condo and homeowners association. See, I want people to understand that if you worked with roofs or if you do real estate, who else is in the room? So what do you right?
We do community association law, which you said is representing condo HOA boards, but we also represent individuals against their associations as well. Outside of that, we do real estate, both commercial, residential, estate planning, We do corporate dispute resolution, so we do a wealth of things. There's really not too much limitation to what we can do to help out.
Thank you. Jessica Jefferson.
Good afternoon. My name is Jessica Jefferson. I'm a superhero therapist. I help other healers and helpers heal. I am the proud founder and CEO of Soul Wellness Social Supportive Therapeutic Services. We are a multicultural, multi-ethnic, multilingual group practice focusing on helping and connect Black people to Black therapists. We provide services in 8 states and 2 languages.
They're on the screen. They're on the screen. We see y'all hanging out, so you're welcome to stay.
We're in the shower today. So we connect Black folks to Black therapists essentially, and we started because I was working a job that I loved, that hated me, I burnt out and almost died. And so our newest product is offering organizational wellness. We go into the job people want to keep and protect those that turn their profit. So versus somebody leaving their job because they're burnt out and their team lead doesn't know how to work with them, we teach organizations how to keep those that turn their profits to create sustainable wellness practices. I'm also the DEIB chair for NABO of South Florida, the National Association of Women Business Owners. So I offer consulting programs, we built out companies, and mental health blocks. What else do I do?
That's it. Give y'all a Her Power Moves way. This is how we do it. You say your name, the name of your business, one thing you have and one thing you need, that's it. When I have my events, as some people have been to my events know, I will come and rub your arm if you go too long, because we want to make sure that we get as many people to hear the buzzwords. So what you have, what you need, your name, the name of your business. I'm gonna go up to the computer to Jackson Chantel. Nepotism reigns supreme, and she's gonna tell you why nepotism.
Yes, so my name is Jackson. I am with Forage and Fire Catering. I'm a co-owner with Michelle's son, Javier, and we are another pandemic business. We started our business in 2021. So our need is to just continue growing the business, take on bigger clients, and our value add is that we offer something different than what's available in our area, and we want to appeal to people who are coming from those bigger cities to Montana to experience something different out of the box and still comparable to the city experience.
Thank you so much, Jackson. I will always put my kids first, right? Please.
Yes, it's my turn.
Yes.
Hi, my name is Jackie Lewinsky, and I'm the owner of Higher Legions. Basically, in a nutshell, it's a staffing company. But what I do is I primarily provide employees to freight forwarding and logistics. It is a company. It is not a company, but it's really kind of like a business that a lot of people don't know about. But basically, everything that moves from one place to the next, it's freight forwarding, from everything that you wear to what you drive.
Awesome.
It's brought from another country here, or it's brought from somewhere else to you.
You said the buzzword already. You're good. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna let this gentleman say his name, his business name, what he has, what he needs, and you'll see why that bounce happened. And then you guys can continue to talk after everybody gets a chance to go.
Good afternoon. Pompey Mancilla, International Logistics Solutions. So we basically offer shippers a logistics solutions, whether it's domestic or international. Like you said, it could be wear and apparel, it could be cosmetics, it could be furniture, it could be anything, anywhere in the world.
Thank you. So I'm gonna go back up. I thought Tanya Harrison was still on the screen. I don't see her. So I'm gonna go to Just Help. Are you able, or put it this way, raise your hand if you would like to introduce yourself and network with the rest of us in the room. Okay, so I see you, Naomi. Take yourself off mute for sure.
Yes.
Yay.
Hello all, my name is Naomi Studevin, and I recently pivoted my business to provide services to parents. I do parent coaching and professional development when it comes to navigating the education system and supporting those educators and professional and behavioral health and mental health professionals and supporting parents and navigating the education system. My business is called Advocacy Unlimited.
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
I'm sorry. My needs are want to connect with professionals in education and behavioral health and mental health services.
Okay, thank you so much. So I'm gonna go really quickly over here to Marlon Bennett, name of business, what you need, what you have.
Marlon Bennett, office is off Marlon Bennett. I do everything Chris does plus practice law. My goal is try to help people resolve whatever issues they have, meet whatever needs they have.
Thank you. I'm gonna go to the lovely lady behind you.
Hi, my name is Sandy. I'm a real estate agent and I have a cleaning business. My name is more clients.
Yes, and she kind of just wandered into our sphere and she stuck with us, right? So thank you so much.
Good afternoon. My name is Alexis Evans. I currently have two businesses. One is South Florida Business Association, where I actually work with logistics, such as tobacco, marijuana companies, commissioners. I have different range of clientele, even the hotel chain. I am consulting where I help with their business management and development. As far as my second company, which is my event company, I had over 8 years. It's an expo trade show company where I actually give other business owners the opportunity to have a voice in a place that they usually won't have.
And the name of that conference and the date of the next one?
The 3rd, it'll be here in South Florida and Hollywood, Florida. So you can get your tickets at bosstalkexpo.com.
Boss Talk Expo.
Awesome.
Nate.
Hello, everyone. My name is Nathaniel Crawford. I am the broker and owner of Black Luxury Realty. We focus on new and pre-construction luxury real estate here in sunny South Florida. And I need more business. If you know anybody looking to buy or sell luxury real estate, our focus is increasing the diversity in luxury real estate. Less than 1% of all luxury realtors are Black. We're gonna change that.
Thank you. So we're gonna go to David here to Pompey's right, and then we're gonna do Daniel Williams and Just Health, and that's gonna be it for online. And I think I got everybody right in the room. Yeah, because Frank already introduced himself. Okay, so go ahead, David.
Hello, my name is David Hill. Right now, I sell insurance, life, health, and Medicare, but I'm looking to pivot that into cooking full-time. We're doing weekly meal preps and possibly catering service. The name of my business is still a working title, so I'll know yet.
And I am down 9 pounds because he's been cooking for me for 3 years. Yeah. So Just Help, I see your hand is up. Daniel Williams might have dropped off when he heard me say his name. If he doesn't raise his hand, it won't be him. And so Just Help, please feel free to share your name, your business, and then we're gonna wrap.
Perfect. So good afternoon, everybody. My name is Kwajo Obey. I am a physician and owner and operator of Just Health, which is a healthcare IT firm, specifically targeting analytics in the healthcare field, configuring electronic medical records, etc. Our value added is it is physician led, it's patient centric, and what we do, and obviously as in the name, it's about justice in healthcare as well as equity. Our needs, we're looking to expand into the government contracting space in the next few weeks. Pleasure to meet everyone.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So I'm gonna my name is Michelle Talbert. I am the founder of Her Power Space. Her Power moves the squad. I focus on Black plus 40 plus women, solopreneurs, and side hustlers so that you can go from having confusion and isolation to having clarity and community in your business. Jessica and I are pitch partners, as you can tell, and we are always going to have the events, the information, the resources, and the people you need. So we all win. We don't play. All right. So there will be more information. There will be more events. We have one tomorrow for 90-day plan. And next week we have get your consumer good product on the shelf. So if you did not register, then you need to be sure to drop your email in the chat. We're going to download the chat and ensure that everyone is connected. Thank you all for being here online, in the room. Mix it up, y'all. Y'all can keep online if you want. Hey, thank you. Thank y'all. Eat, drink. No, please. Thank you.
Save the chat today.
Yeah, so, again, I'm a roofing associate, capacity of by, storm damage assessment, whether it's a hurricane claim or something.
Everything.
So even if it goes a little bit, that's the fire report and it's for middle.
Oh, so you're the judge.
We just set up a meeting, I can come by your office, the capabilities presentation, so you guys can see and get a better understanding of the service I provide. And I go to work with you, I'll get together with you. If there's any synergy there, it's something that I'm got to let you know.
But it's just picks on the solar. On the other side, that
I don't have change with that. My experience wasn't that. There was a case where a homeowner from stress, I believe it's citizen insurance. He had some damage to her that she did feel that it was called by. I went out there, did it went to definition, and I got told by their attorney to continue to escalate. It went to court. It wasn't enough carry that water fund. It
Straight through and I was like, oh yeah, I don't want to.
Yeah. Yeah, I should.
Now we.
I guess today one is worked out. Yeah, now it's
most places change the hour or change the days or change the work hours a little bit here and there, but that's what I get used to thinking again and again and again. It's not the same thing, the same thing. All the time you rely on one percent. The other thing was that I
Especially like on a commercial. Take your time, even if you didn't do anything, and that was a, 20-year system. If you don't do maintenance, then yes, that can go. So I would understand. You guys are the president. That shouldn't be the case. Typically on the president's home, you have a pit that looks already designed to go years without maintenance. You have few penetrations and water. They're trying to have water unless they identify a storm or something. Like let's say if let's say the 10-year plan had been between 2013 and now it was like, hey, well that's we got hit by Sandy and got hit by 3 other storms and we didn't inspect it. But other than that, then yeah, they're just trying to but somebody could fail, let me find a consultant or an inspection. And now when that person comes out, we're gonna have to pay probably $2,000 just for the time. A lot of people work that.
Yeah, you need to pay.
Yeah, you be like a some of it, like 33%. You don't certainly tell like my angle, especially so I go like Florida, my angle is like one of my season after. So you can ask, because of the rain, there's clogged drain, gutters, we clean it out, we check to see to see if there's any issues or anything. But however, yeah, outside out of mind. Think about it too. Yeah, so thinking that and I need to take somebody and I'm taking pictures and stuff, and it's like you haven't had any issues, you know, that's the thing. And the thing is, those streets, like if somebody has overhang the tree chip, but if they don't be proper, it's really hard to finish. So it's I brought little things happen over time really cause catastrophic thinking of that until you have to replace it. So if I come and say, hey, that was 10 grand for me to look at twice a year, you're like, where that was every year. Now, large manufacturers are warranting it for about 30 years now. There's some manufacturing systems that can last 40 years. Yeah. Like right now, it is a project where the manufacturers manufacture and they have a 30-year life supply. That is more, so the science and thing is constantly changing. That's pretty cool.
Is there a whole for you?
Yeah, so they have spray from. They don't see that more after hurricane. And let's say like the hurricane, you have a bunch of damage roof. Yeah. You come in and spray that home, you still that thing up for limited time. Probably like the next couple of years, like give you time to take care of the other issues. Things like that. Tear that home off. Brand new.
I might have some money down by that. In the future.
She has a phone. Like 5 years.
They put on, by the time they do, they don't know when I want to get a straight.
Yeah, the age of
30,000
like 30
years ago.
Yeah.
So now, so it's
beautiful house.
But then like now you have.
By the way, she didn't mind. So she there.